Ahoy, my friends. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy Scorpid's tales. And with that, enjoy the video.
In the Scarlet Raven Tavern, Scorpid relished the taste of spiced bread and sweet nectar, a moment of comfort to be had in the town of Darkshire after having traveled here from Stormwind City during the night. Armed with a flickering torch, he strolled southward, stumbling upon a gathering of Nightwatch trainees standing in the rain. Seated at a roadside camp, Scorpid's relief evaporated as a forsaken fiend, a Horde outcast, ran by, drawing the attention of a guard. Scorpid pursued, unleashing his boomstick to hinder the forsaken menace. The guard, however, chose this moment to bail, leaving Scorpid to face a flock of shadowy minions conjured by the cunning Forsaken. In response, the mercenary unleashed a mechanical Grinch, a gift from Great Father Winter. Triumphantly, Scorpid and his robotic sidekick had prevailed. But the cost was great. The mechanical Grinch's warranty expired, having been switched on a third and final time. Beyond the spooky woods of Duskwood, Scorpid delved into the treacherous vastness of Stranglethorn, a jungle that sent shivers down the spine. Despite following the road, a giant tiger gave chase, but a dash of flash powder and quick thinking vanished Scorpid in a cloud of smoke, narrowly escaping the swift king of the jungle. Eventually, Scorpid reached Booty Bay, a large, goblin-run harbor town, teeming with pirates and outlaws. The neutral peace policy offered safety from Horde threats, allowing Scorpid a moment of relief. While browsing leatherworking supplies, a chunky tauren physically assaulted him with a hammer. Scorpid merely laughed, anticipating the Horde member's demise. Booty Bay bruisers mercilessly pummeling the tauren to death for breaking the peace, a spectacle that brought great pleasure to Scorpid. Having secured a room, Scorpid eyed the shipping schedule. He had traveled to the southernmost point of the Eastern Kingdoms for good reason. Business opportunities promising great fortune awaited, far across the Great Sea. Scorpid's ship docked at Booty Bay's bustling harbor, where unsettling Horde fiends departed. Boarding the vessel, Scorpid nervously wedged his back against a fellow human for safety. Arriving in Ratchet, it became apparently clear. Stealth only works if you're a Horde rogue. The town's puzzling lack of guards made Ratchet vulnerable to Horde influence despite its supposed neutrality. Scorpid wasn't sure how his presence would be met here. Approaching Gazlowe, Ratchet's goblin leader, for guidance, Scorpid found out the goblin mayor received bribes from the Horde leadership to keep his bruisers out of the center of the town. Why, you ask?
Ratchet is a melting pot for cultural diversity. We even employ orcish gentlemen. Unfortunately, we're not allowed too many guards. The Horde believe it's discrimination to prevent them from attacking members of the Alliance. And you, my friend, happen to be a member of the Alliance? Oh, also, even though Horde gentlemen or ladies are allowed to attack you at any time, we must stress that members of the Alliance are forbidden from initiating any form of physical altercation. Rules are rules, my friend.
Scorpid aimed to prove his worth, and maybe Gazlowe would offer him some special protection. Discovering bounty posters seeking the heads of various pirates and brigands, Scorpid noticed they were all human. He chose the path of the bounty hunter to establish himself in Ratchet. Scorpid was tasked with collecting a bottle of very expensive 99-year-old port, which had been stolen by a homeless goblin man who dwelled in some caverns to the west. The pay would be lucrative, 55 silver coins. Next, he was tasked by a goblin chef to retrieve giant spider eggs from a land far to the west. Apparently, spider egg omelets were a popular delicacy. Gross! Maybe for the Horde. Seeking solace in a local bar, a giant tauren bullied him out of his chair, stole his chair, and consumed Scorpid's booze. A flexing display of Horde dominance left Scorpid fuming, foreshadowing the challenges awaiting him in this dangerous town. Scorpid left the town, finding it safer out in the savannah. He confronted the amateur pirates, dismantling them limb by limb. Next, he hunted large purple raptors. He skillfully hunted and skinned them, imagining the crazy profits to be made from their hides in Ratchet. The barren savannah posed more challenges. A living garou, similar to one found in the Ironforge Museum. Giant zebras, which are like zebras, but with a deadly horn on their head for gouging predators. Exploring the Barrens, Scorpid encountered giraffes and hyenas too. But by far his greatest find was the Great Kodo, massive beasts resembling Giga Chad elephant-rhino hybrids. Scorpid exploited their lack of intelligence. Kodos are the mounts of Tauren, much like how humans ride horses. Reaching the Wailing Caverns, Scorpid navigated the lush cave system in search of Mad Maglish. Discovering Maglish's camp nearby, he cornered the evil goblin, who proved to be surprisingly strong. Crazy guy strength is real. Returning to Ratchet with the bottle of port, Scorpid encountered a smaller Tauren, who met swift vengeance for Scorpid's earlier humiliation, and another Tauren faced the same fate. Scorpid felt better. Now the score was 2-1. Scorpid found a moment of relaxation with a family of gazelles, and he cooled down in the shade. Next, he found a goblin called Whistlecrank near an isolated oil refinery, taken prisoner by evil goblins, members of the Venture Company. Enticed by good pay, Scorpid agreed to help Whistlecrank escape with his sick ride, but the key to the ignition rested in the pockets of a Venture Company foreman atop the oil refinery. Complicating matters, a Horde Forsaken shared the objective. Bound by Ratchet law, Scorpid couldn't eliminate the Forsaken unless in self-defense. Lurking in stealth, Scorpid seized an opportunity when the Forsaken inadvertently struck him, while attempting to tag the foreman before Scorpid could. This action established a case for self-defense, and Scorpid ruthlessly dispatched the Forsaken. Despite bringing the key back, unfortunately, Whistlecrank's shredder malfunctioned.
I don't think this blinking red light is a good thing.
He exploded and died. Scorpid stumbled upon a small hut. Seeking respite, he found a haven of relaxation. Within the cozy dwelling, Scorpid indulged in a smoke from a bong, unwinding in the savannah heat. Back in Ratchet, Scorpid discussed lucrative opportunities with a goblin businessman. Suddenly, a Forsaken unleashed shadow magic and summoned minions to assault Scorpid. As he retreated towards the bruisers, they began shooting at Scorpid instead. Horde favoritism at its finest. In a bid for revenge, Scorpid confronted the Forsaken and slew him, but the Horde gang the Forsaken was a part of rolled up and retaliated with a vicious beating. Scorpid narrowly escaped an Orcish rogue's assassination attempt. Dangers escalated on the dock, where a troll warrior distracted the guards, allowing the Orcish rogue to strike Scorpid unimpeded. These criminals clearly took their job seriously. Multiple stealthy Horde rogues surrounded him, creating a tense atmosphere. Scorpid had hopped onto the boat as it arrived, luring an assassin to follow him as planned. Separated from his ally, Scorpid got the drop on his would-be assailant, taking him down with ease.
Did he just vanish a bleed? Bozo.
Returning to Ratchet, the other Orc rogue had met a peculiar fate. His body lay suspended in the air. Clearly the work of a powerful magician. The Orcish rogue had been rolled so badly, he'd flattened down to becoming two-dimensional. With Ratchet free from Horde dogs, Scorpid revisited the Wailing Caverns, skillfully slaying serpents for their valuable, perfect deviate scales. They would be useful in crafting something of great value. Deeper in the caverns, Scorpid faced a brainwashed night elf, wielding deadly lightning magic. Using stalagmites for cover, Scorpid engaged in a clever battle, strategically forcing the druid to begin recasting his spell over and over again. Scorpid took every opportunity to slide in a blast from his boomstick, while jumping for cover to avoid any trouble from those lightning blasts. Scorpid left the night elf defeated, and if that wasn't embarrassing enough, Scorpid stole his lovely purple Gucci leggings, leaving him with a lot of explaining to do when he is awoken by his fellow druids. Venturing westward into the Stone Talon Mountains, Scorpid approached the perilous Spider Canyon, where he sought the spider eggs for that goblin chef back in Ratchet. Amidst the webs, he amused himself by thwarting a Horde shaman's futile attempts to escape. He probably would have made it too, if it wasn't for that meddling Scorpid. Scorpid collected sticky deep moss spider eggs and stashed them, hoping they wouldn't hatch unexpectedly. Confronted by the giant Spider Queen guarding her eggs, Scorpid faced a challenging battle, but ultimately his will to survive prevailed. An ambush by an Orcish hunter added chaos, but Scorpid's evasive skills allowed an unscathed escape. After the attack, Scorpid found himself lost, unintentionally traveling in the wrong direction. The landscape shifted, becoming greener and more plant-like, proving he'd gone far off course from the intended path. Stumbling upon a Forsaken rogue, Scorpid swiftly assassinated the fiend and eliminated the threat with a precise shot before the fiend could pose a danger to other innocents. Entering a long tunnel adorned with magical elven lamps, Scorpid traveled down its winding passages and emerged into a lush green forest. Traveling further north, rain began to chill him to the bone. Eventually, he was fortunate to reach the elven town of Oberdeen. Grateful for the elves' hospitality, he indulged in a warm, candlelit bath. With a desire to return to Ratchet, Scorpid sought assistance from a friendly night elf guide who led him to the dock to wait for a vessel out of here. Scorpid and his guide boarded the vessel as it docked, seeking shelter from the rain in the cabin. Resting in the cabin, Scorpid fell asleep in a chair. Sailing through the open sea, he dreamed of past adventures and those yet to unfold, hopeful to awake in the town of Ratchet, where he'd deliver these vile spider eggs come the morrow.